Mobster Boss Radio Live is not intended for anyone under the age of 18. If you are under the age of 18 and still here from this point on, we assume you are here with the consent, approval, and supervision of a parent or guardian. With that said, here's Lester.
Hey ladies, a little tip from Lester. Next time you go skydiving, and I know many of you do, be sure and wear a tampon. It'll keep you from making that whistling noise you make on the way down. How about that?
Candy here. Foreplay. I just want to fuck. You're listening to Mobster Boss Radio Live. Radio Live.
Back by popular demand.
Let's get ready to rumble!
JD. Sunny.
And Lester.
Let's do it then!
Ang susunod na palabas ay rated PG.
You're listening to Mobster Boss Radio Live.
So there I was, after I left Sonny's house, and I'm headed back north, and I'm driving down the road, and I've got this long drive in front of me, a long one. So somewhere after I left out of Texas, and I crossed over into Arkansas, and I'm taking Interstate 30 east, and then I'm gonna grab one and go north. But anyway, make a long story short, as I'm easing my way through Arkansas somewhere, I had decided that I wanted some coffee, and so while I'm pouring my coffee, I thought, well, I kind of want something sweet. I don't eat a lot of candy and things of that nature, but I had kind of a hankering for that. Y'all know what a hankering is, right? Yeah, that's kind of a strong desire for something. So anyway, I walk over to where all the candy is, and I see this bag of caramels. Well, that's what I want. You remember those little square, when you was a kid, they had those little Kraft caramels? Boy, were those good or what? Well, these weren't Kraft. I don't even remember the brand name of them, but they were, instead of being little square cubes, they were kind of circle, little disc of just chewy caramel. Had some kind of little white center in them. But anyway, so I decided to get me a bag of those. So I get my coffee, and I've got my caramels, and I open the caramels up and set them over in the seat next to me, and I'm heading out on the highway. I'm getting back up on the interstate. So I grab one of those caramels and I eat it, and man, it was good. It was, man, it tasted just so good. Well, I ate another one and another one, and before you know it, I'd eaten, I don't know, 10, 12, 14 of them. Who knows? But I ate a lot of them, and I thought, boy, that is enough, man. Lester, you need to cut that out. That is enough. So I decided that was enough. So I'm driving on down the road. About an hour later, I noticed I had my radio up, and I'm driving to my driving tunes. And I actually heard my stomach making noises above the music. And then so I turned the radio down, and I'm hearing even more, and it's just I've never heard my stomach make noises like that before. It was gurgling, and I tell you what it sounded like. It sounded, you remember that movie, The Blob, where they go find this blob thing, and it's all laying there, and it's just kind of pulsating, and And when they come up on it, it has this big green hue all around it, just this glow, right, with this steam and things coming off of it, and it was making these noises. Yeah, well, here's what I mean, not one to miss a chance. I pull over. I see a truck stop or whatever, a gas station, and I pull over, and not one to miss an opportunity for a sound effect. You know, my phone, I've got a really good phone, and it's got a really good recorder on it. So I hit that app, and I just stuck that phone, the microphone portion of my phone, up to my belly. Oh, my God. I have never heard noises like that in my life. And I'm thinking, wow, I think I'm fixing to have a problem. And so after a few minutes of recording these noises, my stomach is making I'm feeling all of these bubbles and things in my stomach. And it just sounds like an alien being trying to get in touch with someone. Yeah, that's what it was. Well, I got news for you, man. I figured out that I have a problem right now, and I have to run. Man, I pulled my car into a parking space. I didn't even say, how do you do, kiss my ass. I run through the door, saw that restroom sign, and I hit the bathroom. And I'm telling you, I blew the bottom out of that thing. I know that sounds gross to y'all, but I have never in my life had such an immediate emergency as I had right then. I am telling, and there was nothing. There was it didn't even resemble taking a shit. It sounded like a cow pissing on a flat rock. It was. My God, it was, I just went, it looked like a crime scene before I walked out of there. The only thing missing was the police tape. It was terrible. Oh my God. You know, and there I was in this stall, just, I was pissing out of my ass. That's what I was doing. And there's this guy in there washing his hands or something. He said, hey, man, how about a courtesy flush? Because I know it was reeking everywhere. I just said, fuck your courtesy flush, and I blew the bottom out of it again. But anyway, so finally I get all cleaned up and everything. I get out of there. And this just continued on. This rumbling. I mean, you know, this was bad stuff. Bad stuff. But so I have to stop again. Did same things. You know what I'm thinking? Maybe that candy was bad. So I grabbed that bag of candy once I get back in the car again, and I'm looking for a date on it. I thought maybe it was out of date. Who knows? I don't know. Can candy go bad? But, you know, that's what I'm thinking. So I look down there and I see a date on it, and hell, it was like it expired towards the end of 2013, you know, so it's still good. But then something caught my eye. I realized that this candy, it said sugar-free, sugarless. Well, I accidentally picked up some kind of sugarless candy, and it didn't taste like sugarless candy. I guess that was the thing that threw me away. You know how a lot of times sugarless candy or sugarless diet drinks have that taste, that artificial sweetener. This didn't taste like that. And I'm looking at the package, and it said sweetened with Splenda. And on the back of it, this is the thing that caught my eye, though, as I'm looking around for a date on it. It said there was a warning down there right below the ingredients that said excessive consumption may have a laxative effect. You think? Well, let me tell you, that laxative effect, I had to stop a ton of times over the next, I don't know, 2.5, 3 hours. It finally, I guess, fixed itself, whatever. But I am telling you, I had no idea. And I know that some of you are going, how gross. This is so gross. Well, I got news for you. No matter how prim and proper you are, no matter how hot you think you are, no matter how uppity you think you are, no matter how much better you think you are than everybody else, you have taken that same shit that I took. That's exactly right. You have in your life taken that same shit I did. That flushed feeling. There you are blowing the bottom out of that toilet, and you have taken that same shit I did. So get off your goddamn high horse and just roll with it. You're thinking, oh my God, as you're sitting there eating your food, drinking your drink, you're going, wow, that was gross. I'm not hungry anymore. Oh, almost forgot. You know, by the way, all those noises that I was running in the background just a minute ago, every one of those was the recording from my belly. That's a fact. There was not any enhancement that I put on that. That's exactly what my stomach sounded like. So those of you that think that I put in some kind of effect on that, I did not.
When you're sliding in the first and you feel a sudden burst, diarrhea. When you're sliding in the second and you need some disinfectant, diarrhea. When you're sliding in the third and you lay a turkey turd, diarrhea. When you're sliding into home and your shorts are full of foam, diarrhea.
Mamacita, ¿dónde está Santa Claus? The vato with a bony knees, he's coming down the street with no shoes on his feet, and he's going to... No, that ain't it. Mamacita, ¿dónde está Santa Claus? The guy with the hair on his jaws, Hey, man, come over here, man. I need some help, man.
Yeah, man, I can dig that. Like, what are you doing, man?
I'm trying to write a song about Santa Claus, man, but it's not coming out.
About who, man?
About Santa Claus, man. You know Santa Claus, man?
Oh, yeah, man. I played with those dudes, man.
What?
Yeah, last year at the Fillmore, man. Me and the bass player sat in, man.
Oh, hey, man, you think Santa Claus is a groove, huh? No, it's not a groove, man.
Would they break up, man?
Oh, no, man, it's one guy, man. You know, he had a red suit on, man, with black patent leather shoes. You know the guy, man?
Oh, yeah. He's with Motown, ain't he?
No, man.
Yeah, I played with that dude, too, man.
No.
Yeah, he's a good singer, man.
No, hold on, man. He's not with Motown, man.
Well, then he's with Buddha, man.
No, man, you don't know who Santa Claus is, man.
Yeah, well, I'm not from here, man. Like, I'm from Pittsburgh, man. I don't know too many local dudes.
Oh, I see. Well, hey, man, sit back and relax, and I'll tell you the story about Santa Claus, man. Listen, once upon a time, about 5 years ago, there was this groovy dude, and his name was Santa Claus, you know? And he used to live over in the projects with his old lady. And they had a pretty good thing together because his old lady was really fine, and she could cook and all that stuff like that. You know, like she made the best brownies in town, man. Oh, I could remember them now, man. I could eat one of them, man.
Wow, did you know these people, man?
Oh, yeah, man. They used to live next door to me, you know, until they got kicked out, man.
What, they got kicked out of the projects, man?
Yeah, you know what happened, man? They used to live with all these midgets, you know? And the midgets used to make a lot of noise, you know, like pounding and hammering and pounding all night, man. Wow.
Typical freaks.
Oh, yeah, man. They were really freaks, man. As a matter of fact, they all moved up north together, you know?
Well, they have to go get their head together, man.
Yeah, get their head together, man. And they started a commune, you know? It was called the Santa Claus and His Old Lady commune. It was a real famous one up there, man. And they used to sit around and groove all the time, you know?
Oh, yeah?
Really good time, man.
Hey, that sounds heavy.
Yeah, eat the brownies, man, and drink the tea, man. And what they did most of the time, though, was make a lot of goodies, you know?
Oh, yeah.
and they had everything they needed. They only needed to come into town maybe once a year or something like that.
Pick up the welfare check and the food stamp.
Yeah, man. No, what they did, man, is once a year, when they made all the goodies, they used to put them in a big chopping bag, and then they used to take the chopping bag and deliver them to all the boys and girls all the way around the world.
Hey, well, that's it, man.
Yeah,
that sounds real nice.
Oh, yeah, they were really nice people, man. And so much class, man. They had so much class, like even take the way they used to deliver the toys, It's like Santa Claus used to have this really sharp short, man, It was lowered to the ground, had twice pipes, candy apple red, and button top. Ooh, clean.
That sounds like a hip snowmobile, man.
No, it wasn't a snowmobile. It was a sled, One of those big sleds, And he used to have it pulled by some reindeers, like reindeers.
Some what, man?
Some reindeers, He used to hook them onto the sled, and then he used to stand up inside the sled and hold onto the reins, and then call out their names like on Donner, on Blitzen, on Chewy, on Tavo, come on, Beto. And then the reindeers used to take off into the sky and fly across the sky, man.
Wow, man, that's far out, man.
Yeah, and then when they fly across the sky, they used to come down to places like Chicago, L.A., Nueva York, and Pacoima, and all those places, and then land on top of people's roofs, and then old Santa Claus would make himself real small, like a real small guy, and he'd come down the chimney, and then he would give you all the stuff that he made, man. And dig this, man, he did it all in one night, man.
Hey, just a minute, man. Now, how'd he do that, man?
Oh, well, man, he took the freeway. How else, man?
No, man. How did he do all that other stuff, man? Like, how'd he make himself small, man? And how'd he get the reindeer off the ground, man?
Oh, well, man, he had some magic dust, man.
Some magic dust?
Yeah, magic dust. He used to give a little bit to the reindeer, a little bit to Santa Claus, a little bit more for Santa Claus, a little bit more.
And this would get the reindeer off, man?
Oh, got them off, man. Are you kidding, man? They flew all the way around the world, man.
Hey, that's far out, man. Hey, how come I've never met this dude, man?
Oh, man, he doesn't do that bit anymore, man. It got too dangerous, man.
Yeah, I can dig that, man, because that's a dangerous bit, man.
Yeah, let me tell you, it sure was, man. Like just 2 years ago, man, he got stopped at the border, and they took him into another room and took off his clothes, man, and searched him and searched his bag of goodies, man. And then when he was leaving, man, he was flying through the air, somebody took a shot at his reindeer,
Oh, that's a drag.
Yeah, it really was, man. And then, man, he went down south, man, and they tried to cut off his hair and his beard, man. And all the time he was getting stopped and pulled over and asked for his ID, man. Just everywhere he went, he ran into too much recession, man.
No, man, you mean he ran into too much repression, man.
Repression, recession, man. It's all the same thing, man.
Yeah, man. It's a drag, man, because we could sure use a dude like that right now.
He still comes around, man.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but he comes in disguises now.
Oh, he went underground.
Yeah, underground, man.
Yeah, I can dig it.
Yeah, but you want to see his disguise, man. Nobody would ever know it was him, man.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's got a job in front of the department store, ringing this bell and playing this tambourine next to this black pot,
Oh, I seen the dude.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about, man.
Yeah. I played with that cat last year, man.
What?
Yeah, we played in front of a store, man. We made a lot of bread.
Hey, wait a minute, man. Santa Claus is not a musician, man.
I'm hip, man. That cat didn't know any tunes, man.
Oh, hey, wait a minute, man. No, he's not into that at all, man.
No, I played with this dude.
Are you sure, man?
I'm positive.
Wow, here it is, Christmas Eve. Isn't that crazy? This year is almost through. Oh yeah, we are setting at December the 24th, 2012, 3 days past when the world was supposed to go into apocalyptic chaos. The world as we know it was supposed to end. That's right. People were thinking that there were going to be zombies and all kinds of stuff, and all of these preppers were going out and they've spent every last dollar that they had extra on getting ready for the apocalypse. Oh my gosh. And then what happened? Oh, everybody sat around, and there was all kinds. The internet was just alive and buzzing, and people were in anticipation of this great apocalyptic change that was going to take place. And they sat around and they waited, and you just watch. You wait and see. Oh yeah, this is it. You better get ready and get your bug out bag. Get your bug out bag and get ready to haul ass. And if you live in a big city, you better make your way out of town. Oh, that's right. And they sat around and they waited and they waited and they waited and they waited. Well, next thing you know, they fell asleep and woke up, and it was the 22nd. Well, the clocks could have been wrong. The Mayans could have missed it on the clock by a few hours or something like that. Then they waited again, and what happened? The 23rd showed up. Well, now they don't know what to do, and they all got kind of quiet. But you know, there's nothing wrong with being ready in case of a natural disaster. There really isn't. But, I saw some show on TV called Doomsday Preppers. I'd never seen this show before, and I was just amazed at the lengths that some people went to prepare for this. Well, and now that the apocalypse has come and gone, it really didn't show up, but now that the date of this Mayan calendar thing that had been debunked a long time ago, but people wanted to believe in this. And I actually believe that some of these people had spent so much time in preparing. Hang on just a minute. I got to adjust my microphone. Physically, I mean, not the settings. But some of these people had, I believe, that some of these people actually wanted something to happen. They had put so much time and effort into this. They wanted everybody around them to see that they were right. They had these bug out procedures in place, and they had done drills, about leaving the house or whatever the situation was. Some of them had even gone so far as on their way. There was one group that was going to escape by water, and they had buried food along the way the way that they were going to take. You see, they were having to walk because they believed that the power grids were going to go down due to some kind of an electromagnetic charge from a sunspot or whatever. And it was, and if that happened, it would render the computer in your cars useless. And of course, your car with an electronic ignition system wouldn't work. So they were walking, and they had buried food along the way. That way it made it easier for them to carry. And they run part of the way and then dig up this food in these buckets and whatever they had their food in, and they would make it to their boat because some of them believed that if they got out on the water, it would be better for them. And then there were those that built underground bunkers. And wait a minute, let me back up. Underground bunkers is an understatement. There's some guy bought a decommissioned missile silo. Yeah, he bought him a decommissioned missile silo, and he was actually building apartments in this silo and selling them out. And actually, I mean, if you can believe what was on these shows, he actually had people giving him $500,000 for this apartment and things of that nature. It's just crazy. I mean, he had investors that had invested millions of dollars into this project. And what's really funny to me about all of these things, these people that are selling, whether they're selling prepper food or they're out building these things that, in case of this this big apocalypse or natural disaster, collapse of the electric grids, things of that, whatever would happen that would cause just worldwide chaos. All of these people, and you see when this chaos supposedly was going to take place, like we would have no electricity worldwide, and things with like electronic ignition, like your cars wouldn't work. There would be nothing. And so with that would come the collapse of governments, of course. So why, if you really believed all of this was going to happen, why are you selling all of this stuff for a big profit and making lots of money? You know, all of these prepper sites, I went online and looked at all of these different prepper sites, you know, and this is going to happen. And some of these people, I have to believe that some of them really believe this, but each and every one of them were selling things to the others for money that supposedly was going to be no good. You know, they were talking about, now you need to build up this and that for all your food supplies, but you also needed, in this one show, this guy was showing people that you also need things for barter because money will be no good. Well, if money is no good, why are you selling this all the way up to the end, supposedly? It's crazy to me. You know, Walmart even bought in on this and started selling prepper food. In fact, I'm sure they still are. You know, it's just crazy. I started checking on the internet for different websites that are coming, that should be coming online soon about, well, now it's 2013nowwhat.com. I mean, all kinds of websites that people have taken on. But, you know, these preppers, these people that predict all of this doom and gloom, they seem to never miss a beat. You know, now that the Mayan calendar thing has actually not just been debunked, which it was a long time ago by scientists and other people, but these guys refused to let it go, knowing that people would bite on like a catfish and hang on. So now that has actually been proven that there was nothing to it. Now they haven't missed a beat. I mean, I noticed on a lot of these sites that sell all this stuff, don't be fooled. You know, the end is still coming. Well, you know, that may be true, and it may be 1,000 years from now. I don't know. You know, there was a guy on one of those shows that he had built his underground bunker in case of economic collapse and chaos and all of this sort of stuff. And this guy had built this underground bunker 40 years ago. 40 years ago. You got to remember this deal of the end of the world and all of these people believing that all this doom and gloom is going to come. This is not anything new. This has been going on forever. But he built this 40 years ago, and every year he goes into this underground bunker and lives for a couple of months so that he can actually handle being in this enclosed space and, you know, not being able to go outside. And he has the whole setup down there, kitchen, living facility, the whole 9 yards. And this guy every year runs drills, and he's been doing this for 40 years. 40 years. You know, and when I see on these prepper sites that their food, their canned food is good for 25 years. 25 years. You're going to keep a fucking can of green beans on your shelf for 25 years just in case. Somebody may say, well, you know what? I am. That's exactly what I'm going to do because I'm going to be prepared. I'm going to be going to be prepared. You know, I think that there were actually people that bought into this apocalyptic thing about zombies. Jesus Christ. You know, and I noticed there was an ammunition company that actually built zombie killing bullets, and people bought them. Man, they had green tips on them and special zombie killing power, I guess. I'll be right back.
Hey there, I'm Big Tiny. I'm the host of Big Tiny's Oldies and More, where we play music from the 50s to today's favorites. So check us out Monday through Friday and see what we're playing right here on Spreaker.
Supersonic.
If someone getting the best of you.
TJS FM.
Take us to the stars tonight.
Radio Time Machine. Big Tiny. Swinging 60s.
He ain't heavy. He's my brother.
For those who love music and haven't given up on life.
My question to you is what would you do if all of this happened? What are your plans? Surely to God, everybody's sort of got a plan. Sort of. I would think that most people have or maybe they don't. Maybe a lot of people do like they do in life, and they just expect things that the government will take care of them through all these people that are on welfare and food stamps, what are they going to do? How are they going to, if all of that would collapse, what are these people that live on entitlements going to do? Are they just going to expect that since the government came in and takes care of them now, that should this happen, that somebody else is just going to come along and take care of them? I mean, where would you go if the end of the world as we know it, I'm talking about civilized society with structure and rules and all of that, if that came to a screeching halt, and it became one of those Mad Max scenarios, what would you do? Where would you go? As soon as your food run out in your food pantry in your home, what are you going to do for food? What would you eat? What would you do for people that need ongoing medicines? What would you do? What would you turn into a raving lunatic? You know, there are people that have to take some kind of medication on a daily basis, and more power to them that they've realized that they've got a problem. I'm talking about these people with emotional issues. What would you do? Do you have a supply of medicine? And if so, how long is that going to last? If you're off of your meds, what happens to you? Do you turn into a raving lunatic? What happens? Do you get real depressed? Do you turn mean? What are you going to do? What are you going to do to feed your family? How are you going to, if this all happened in this way, and your cars didn't run anymore. You know, those that have classic cars with the old-fashioned distributor system and points and all of that sort of stuff, your cars are going to run. But what would you do if all of that really did come to pass? Economic collapse, no stores open that you can just go up and lay your food stamps out to get your food. What are you going to do? Are you going to leave? You know, because these doomsday foreseers, I guess it would be the word, these people that predict all of these doomsday scenarios, you know, they say it's still going to happen. And you know what? It may. What are you going to do? I know what I'm going to do. I happen to have a little cabin at the lake. And if that would happen, I would make my way in my classic car that does not have an electronic ignition system, and I would drive it out to the lake. And that's where I would go. I'd have plenty of water from the lake, and I'd filter it and do all that sort of good stuff. But as far as food goes, what would all of us do? There is not enough food. You know, these preppers, I saw on that show, some of these people have spent $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 on food and guns. You know, and it's amazing to me that everybody is preparing with guns because everybody wants a scenario to where they would have to, it seems like, I mean, I don't know that really they want this type of scenario, but it seems that everybody, you know, they had families on there where the father is teaching all of these kids to shoot. That's all well and good. But my God, outside of their house, they built little foxholes. And in their drills, their kids, which are, the oldest one might be 13, I don't know, 12. Their kids run out there and take a post in a foxhole, and their orders from their commanding general, their father, is if someone comes up that driveway, shoot them. And these kids are like, they want this. They're learning how to survive eating crickets and bugs and this and that. And I'm thinking, what kind of a life do these kids have that once a week, and this was on one of these shows, these people actually pick up crickets and they freeze them. And bugs and different kinds of bugs. And they tell you on there, which I learned in the Army in survival school, the color of bugs indicates whether you can actually eat that bug. You know, if it's red or yellow, you're not supposed to eat that guy, right? But if it's black, brown, and green, I believe, you can eat those and they'll have some kind of nutritional value. But it doesn't, my point is, what kind of a kid once a week, mom cooks up cricket stew. Now that's what they were showing on this show. I don't know if this was all hyped up for the show or they really did this, but these people had these crickets in this kind of saute sauce. And they know, see, crickets are considered some kind of a superfood, that a cricket all by itself has like, I believe, 10 grams of protein. Well, you don't get that much in some meals, but that's true. All right. But, okay, that's true. And you know that, but why at once a week would these kids eat fucking meals that consist of different bugs in some kind of plan? I mean, what chance do these kids have once he's warped their mind that they're to hate everybody, look at everybody as the enemy, and once a week they eat cricket stew? How do they talk about that at school to their friends? These kids are going to be fucked up. You know, and these parents don't realize the message that they're sending to these kids, and that is to look at and view everyone as a potential enemy. And I would think, it just blows my mind. I would think that somebody would come in and investigate these people about the way that they're training these children. But that's just me. You know, if you're listening to me, I don't think the world is going to end in your lifetime. my lifetime. I just don't think it is. There may be some kind of economic collapse. I don't know. I really don't know. But the whole idea of living your life in anticipation of all of this doom and gloom, hell, it sounds like a goddamn Republican commercial. I shouldn't have said that. But what I'm saying is all of this doom and gloom, if you live your life and every moment is about prepping and getting ready for this and doing that, and your life, that becomes your whole being. It seems like these people on these shows seemed obsessed, and I would think that where does the enjoyment of life ever come from? Where do you ever have time to enjoy life instead of prepping and getting ready and trading for this and doing that and buying more guns and buying more ammo and buying more canned foods and things of that? I don't understand that. But you know what? I do understand that people, once they get into a mindset like that, this is their whole focus. And this may be the glue that keeps this man and woman together as husband and wife. You know, I knew somebody that they weren't preppers, nothing like that. But the wife, oh my God, they were on the go 24 hours a day and they had to have something in their life. And I'm referring back to this prepper thing, but they had to have something in their life that held them together because they did not know how to spend time by themselves together. Oh, yeah, they went to bed at night and went to sleep. But when they got up, brother, it was like a $3 clock wound up past the stopping point. They were just running like crazy, could not, when they would get off of work, it was, well, we got to go here, we got to go there, we got to do this. And it was just every day. Every day. If they had a weekend off, he couldn't sit down and watch a ball game. Fuck no. He had to be on the road going somewhere because this is what they did. It was like, my God, it's something always has to be going on, and they could never enjoy even a vacation. Their big deal was in the preparation for things. They would be planning on a vacation, and boy, she's getting this and doing that, and they're doing all of these things, running 100 miles an hour. Then they go on the vacation, and they're having to do all of these things. There's never time to relax and enjoy the vacation. And then, let's say the vacation is 5 days long. The day before they're supposed to leave, she can't just enjoy that because she's trying to figure out what they're going to fucking do next. Oh, it's crazy. And I guess, and I'm going back to this prepper thing. I think a lot of people that get involved in this becomes their reason to exist in their mind. They become obsessed with things. I guess it's just like an obsession with anything else. It seems crazy to me. And my only reason for bringing all of this up, I just hope that all of you can find a reason to be happy. And not just, and you know what? If prepping for the end of the world makes you happy, that's fine as long as it affects you and you're not training your children to be some kind of fucking zombie killer. And you're putting them through these drills and all of the eating cricket stew, and you're turning these kids into some kind of almost an antisocial thing. And I, on that show, they asked this guy, they said, well, don't you think you're causing the children to be a little bit antisocial? And he said, well, that's what it's going to take when the end comes. Oh my God, man. That's got to be like a criminal on the run, living 1 hour, 1 minute at a time, and just not living for the moment, not enjoying every moment of life, but just looking for something to happen. And I really think that these people get so fucked up in the head that they're waiting for something like that to happen. They need for something like that to happen in order for them to fulfill whatever it is that they've been telling people all of these years, I guess. I don't know. But it seems strange to me. And I would think that you would be able to just take a deep breath and sit back, relax a little bit, work your ass off and do what you got to do to survive. Do what you got to do at work and do your job and then have some good times. Don't be preaching to children about the end of the world continually, turning their life into a life of nothing but fear. That's crazy. Well, I'm going to wind it down. I think I've run on enough about that. But here we are on Christmas Eve. I hope each and every one of you have a Merry Christmas. And I really hope that the new year brings you everything that you want and desire. This is Lester Bartholomew Jones. Don't forget to keep on the lookout for Sonny and JD. You know, they're doing their terrestrial radio gig, and they haven't been around as much as they would like to, but they're working things out so that they'll be back here. I think they're going to try to do a show next week on Spreaker, and then they're going to try to start getting back into their regular schedule. So look for JD and Sonny. I'll be back from time to time. Hey, this is Lester Bartholomew Jones, wishing you and yours a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and what the fuck? Happy New Year. All right, y'all have a good one. Bye-bye.